Juggling Johnies. He arrived in time to see the sun setting over the Palisades and the George Washington Bridge from my living room window. We sipped red wine, talking and laughing and watching the light change on each other's faces as the sun went to sleep on the horizon. I thought how lucky I was that this tall, handsome, built like a brick shithouse 39-year-old was so silly and fun and as excited as I was about our first date. To meet someone I actually felt an immediate connection with from a personal ad on yet another dating website was as rare as Chinese panda sperm. Anyway, what a surprise, he said after we kissed again. I know, right? After all the duds I've been dating lately, I said, to find a guy I mutually groove with is so unexpected. It's a bit of a crapshoot, this blind dating thing, don't you think? But we still have to keep trying, right? He looked at me, slightly taken aback. How many dates have you been on lately, he said. Oops. It was then I realized I'd just broken my first rule of juggling. Never let on you've ever dated anyone else. It's obviously not true, but for the sake of romance, it's okay to fib a little bit. Oh, I was referring to dating in general, I said. Lately could mean up to a year, don't you think? He wasn't buying it. He turned a little cooler, shifting our conversation away from sexual preamble to more cooler tones. Well, I don't go on that many dates, he said. Maybe I take dating a little more seriously than you do. I wanted to say, dude, this is only our first date. Like all first dates with total strangers, it's kind of like a job interview, don't you think? I happen to be good at interviews, making them casual and fun, so it's not like some Oprah Q&A or a Barbara Walters expose or something. I'm more the Ellen DeGeneres show type of guy. But still, if you haven't ever met someone, I mean, how invested are you supposed to get? What? He said. Do you go on dates every week or something? Who, me? I said, trying to sound innocent. Well, my take on this might be a little skewed, I said, since I'm sort of a dating columnist. I tried to kind of mumble that part into my wine glass, but he caught it. A what, he said? A dating columnist? What am I, a case study for one of your columns? Oops. Mistake number 2, don't talk about your day job. Most of the time it's boring and can lead to preconceived notions about who you are as a person. For instance, lawyers are supposed to be rich, accountants are supposed to be stuffy, and dating columnists are supposed to be avoided at all costs, evidently. So I tried backpedaling. It's not what you think, I said. I'm sure that once I have a boyfriend, I won't be writing about my dating experiences as much. Anyway, that's just what I do part-time. It's not my whole life. Let's reboot this conversation, shall we? How about books? He smiled a little, realizing I was trying to make things right again, and warming back up said, well, I'm rereading Atonement at the moment. Oh, that's right, I said. You have it on your profile under favorites, I said. No, he said. It's actually not on my profile at all. This, he said with a big sigh. Mistake number 3, avoid talking about their profile. It reminds you that you met on a website and it creates further distance. Besides, unless you've done a quick cram right before you see them, chances are you're going to get it all wrong and make a big mess. Kind of like I was doing right then. Oh, that's right. It's my roommate that has Atonement on his profile under... He wasn't buying it. I'm just going to pour us another glass of wine, I said. You want? No thanks, he said. Downing the rest of his Shiraz, he said, I have to get going anyway. At the door, he said, you should be careful how many profiles you date at the same time. It makes datings that you go on less special. I thought about this as he was putting on his coat. He'd been so eager to meet me and so playful and excited, even a little bit goofy, kind of like a little kid about to ride a go-kart. We kissed goodbye, but it was different. He seemed disheartened, and I watched him walk down the hall thinking how sweet and yummy he was, and how with all the first dates I've been on lately, this one was by far the only one I wanted to see again, and probably wouldn't get to now because he was so disenchanted. Our spell had been broken. At the elevator, he turned and said, you and I are different. You can date more than one guy at the same time, but I can't. I'm not like that. I thought you might be special. Then, with a shrug, he was in the elevator and descending out of my life. But wait, I am special, I wanted to say. I'm not dating anybody else. There were only first and only dates. It's the second date that matters. Wait, come back. But it was too late. He was gone, never to return my thanks for last night text, or my sure would like to see you again email, or even my super final cute voicemail saying, Dexter the Wonder Dog wants to say hi. Will you meet us in the park? I'd scared him away. But what the fuck? I mean, are we supposed to block out a certain amount of time for each blind date, like, 2 weeks or something, waiting for possible interest or disinterest to occur before moving on to the next potential? If I was trying to get a job interview, I wouldn't wait that long between meetings. I would just line them right up. Why shouldn't first dates be the same? Anyway, you might decide in the first 5 minutes that you aren't even interested in his benefit package. Are we supposed to hang ourselves out on a dating clothesline waiting for our dirty laundry to be aired? Or do we spritz a little Febreze in our pits and waft our way through the dating process until we find the right one to come clean with? So Dating Bradford wants to know, when finding yourselves with fistfuls of fool's gold, how do you juggle your jewels?